I want to teach you dealing with distractions. Dealing with what? Say it again. Dealing with what? I want you to say it after me. Dealing with distractions. Say it again. Dealing with distractions. Say it loud like you know your name and you are alive. Dealing with distractions. God bless my children. We are more than the children. And then now, so open your mouth and say it loud. Dealing with distractions. Okay. Verse 1. I will read from 1 to 9 and I will go into it. Now it came to pass when Sanballat and Tobiah are enemies of the church. Are you getting me? Sanballat and Tobiah are what? Enemies of who? Enemies of who? Say it again. Enemies of who? The church. And Geshem, the Arabian, and the rest of our enemies, these are all enemies, they heard that I had built, or they heard that Bishop Ngasony is building the walls of Taraba and beyond Taraba, and that there was no breach left therein. Thought at that time I had not set up the doors open no, give me New King James. No wonder I'm struggling. I told you I leave King James for Daddy. He is the teacher. Me is new. I'm in the area of new. Let's go on. All right. So he said that there were no breaks left in it, though at that time I had not hung the doors in the gate. We had not even built the cathedral yet. That Sanballat and Geshem sent to me, saying, come, let us meet together among the villages in the plain of honor. But they thought to do me harm. Let's go on. So I sent messengers to them, saying, I am doing a great work, so that I cannot come down. Why should the work cease while I leave it and go down to you? Go ahead, verse 4. But they sent me this message 4 times. Take note though. And I answered them in the same manner. Then Sanballat sent his servant to me as before, the 5th time, with no open letter in his hand. 6. In it was written, this is what was in the letter. It is reported among the nations, and Geshem says that you and the Jews planned to rebel. Is that not what they said about Bishop, that he rebelled? Therefore, according to these rumors, you are rebuilding the wall. See the accusation, no? That you may be their king. Go ahead. And you have also appointed prophets to proclaim concerning you at Jerusalem, saying, there is a king in Judah. Now, these matters will be reported to the king. So, come, therefore, let us consult together. There's Lido that he did that, came to rebuild the wall, so that he wants to be king in Jerusalem. And so that this is what he's trying to do, and he has brought for himself prophets. And so he said, come, let's talk together. These are the enemies, lying, conspiring. Then I sent to them, saying, no such things as you say are being done. But you invent them in your own heart. They invented the lies in their own heart. Verse 9. For they all were trying to make us afraid, saying, their hands will be weakened in the work, and it will not be done. Now, therefore, O God, strengthen my hands. I want you to say this after me. Say, oh God, strengthen my hands. Dealing with distractions. God gave Nehemiah a vision of Jerusalem. Nehemiah was a Jew. Nehemiah was a civil servant working in the king's palace. Tobiah and Sanballat were very angry for Nehemiah embarking on the building wall of Jerusalem project. God specifically put the burden in Nehemiah. Jerusalem was being ruined. Jerusalem wall was getting old and cracked everywhere. And people were living in Jerusalem. Nehemiah was a civil servant working in the king's palace as king's cupbearer. Every time Nehemiah goes to pray, he sees the burden of the wall of Jerusalem. And he felt the burden to build the wall. And so one day, the burden overwhelmed Nehemiah. And so Nehemiah now came to serve the king his wine. He was a king's cupbearer. He came to serve the king his wine. Every time before now, every time Nehemiah come to the king, he will be smiling and giving the king, serving with joy. But this day, Nehemiah came, he was super sad. Nehemiah was so sad. And the king took note of his face. He came again, and the king saw it again. He said, Nehemiah, why are you sad? To leave that story, to cut it short, a time came, Nehemiah went to meet the king. And he said, oh king, my people in Jerusalem, the land of Jerusalem lies in waste. The walls are being destroyed. I am asking you one privilege, oh king. I have the burden to go and rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. I am asking you, oh king, to give me a letter as a king to those in authority in Jerusalem that have businesses with building materials, and permission to the king of Jerusalem. Let me go and build the wall. The king said, so how long will it take you? They discussed that with the king. The Bible said Nehemiah now found favor, and the king gave him letter to those having timbers, whatever, and to the king in Jerusalem. And he gave the letters. And when he began, he set his heart to do the work, distractions began to arise. When he made up his mind, he dispatched the letters, and he now started getting a workforce like the workforce God is raising in the helper's house. Hell broke loose. Hell broke loose. The Bible declared Nehemiah did not publicize it. Nehemiah did not announce it. Come on now. Nehemiah did not even go to church to tell a testimony that God sent me to Jerusalem. He only spoke to the king, and he spoke to the people that will give him the material. And the Bible declared Tobiah, Sanballat, Geshem, and all the enemies, they have already heard. Can I say something to you? Whatever you are doing, the devil has assigned people to monitor you. Is somebody getting me? The city of Jericho is a city that its weakness is gossip. The moment you want to do something, you wonder how people get to know. Tobiah, Sanballat, Geshem, and the rest gathered themselves. What is their assignment, Eric? What is their purpose, Eric? What is their calling that they gave to themselves? Their assignment is to stop Nehemiah from building the walls of Jerusalem. Remember, they also live in Jerusalem. When the walls of Jerusalem is built, it is to their advantage. It is for them, but they do not want it because it was a demonic invasion from hell. The devil doesn't want your life to be built. Should I say it again? The devil doesn't want your life to be built. Every persecution, every criticism we have gone through is because of you. He doesn't want you to be safe. He doesn't want you to progress. He doesn't want you to rise, because you can't move without God sending a man to speak to your life. Did you hear what I'm saying? It's about you. It's about you and not the man. So they give themselves their own calling, gathered themselves, and said, let's see how Nehemiah will build. Let's see how he will build. Let's see. What is distraction? In case some of you don't understand, what is distraction? Let's answer that question. Let's answer that question. When God calls you and He gives you an assignment, hell will raise distraction. When He gives you a specific function that will move the kingdom of God forward, distractors will arise. The reason for the distractors is to ensure that you don't fulfill the assignment that heaven has given to you to do, so that you will not impact the life of others, so that you will not bring light to the city, so that you will not deliver those that are in captivity, so that you will not open prison doors. But can you hear me? It is too late for the devil. Get ready, get ready, get ready, because the city will be flooded with light. The city will be flooded with deliverance. Prison doors will be open. Prison doors will be open. The captives will be set free. What is distraction? Distraction is to distract. Number one, distraction means to distract. To distract means to divert one's attention to several others. To divert one's attention to several others. Let me practice it. Come, Eric. Now, this is the assignment God has given. This is Jerusalem wall. Is somebody getting me? Stand there. This is Jerusalem wall, and I am Nehemiah, and God has sent me to rebuild the walls. Is somebody getting me? and distraction. What is distraction? Distraction comes, they will divert my attention from fixing it on how to build this life, how to build Jerusalem, how to build the walls, and they will distract me and show me to several others. It's to divert to several others. My attention moves from here to several others, and I begin to do what I'm not asked to do. I begin to engage in what I'm asked not to engage. By the time I get to engage in what I'm not asked to do and what I'm not sent to do, I will be fruitless. I will be there will be no productivity. There will be no fruit. I will be left with frustration. I will be left with pain. I will be left with limitation. At the end, the devil cuts me off. That's the reason for distraction. But no matter what happens, the devil doesn't distract nobody. Did you hear me? He doesn't distract nobody. He distracts somebody. People with vision. Victorious, are you getting me? People with what? Vision. People with dreams. People with passion. People with focus. And so he keeps pounding you every day to distract you. He wants you not to pray. He wants you not to give. He wants you not to he wants you not to be stable. And so he wants you jumping from here to here. But when God sends you to a place and it directs you, he sent you to be built, he sent you to be molded, he sent you to be constructed, he sent you to be equipped because of where he is taking you to. So it's to direct one's attention to several others. Is to turn aside. I am going like this. You know, sometimes I'm close to a miracle. Sometimes I'm close to hitting it. Sometimes I'm close to lifting. Sometimes I'm close to open doors. When distraction comes, maybe AD comes and he didn't say good morning. He didn't greet me. He does an attitude and I get to be distracted. I leave my focus. I begin to talk about AD. I begin to be concerned with AD. I begin to be malicious. I put malice with AD and everything is AD. I come to church, I see AD and my heart is bitter. That is distraction. Is someone getting me? Is someone getting me? And I leave my main focus. My main focus is to worship God. He called me to give him pleasure. What I'm doing now, is it giving God pleasure? Sometimes you ask yourself question, is the hurts I'm having, is it giving God pleasure? Is talking about my brother or my sister giving me pleasure? Is staying out of church giving me pleasure? Is staying out of being a church worker giving me pleasure? Is staying out of walking in love, is it giving me pleasure? Because you are called by God to give him pleasure. Shalabaonde shikaya zepakantoriaga. Loose her and let her go to do what God has for her to do. Loose her, loose her, loose her in the name of Jesus. And so is to turn aside. I'm going like this, and the devil invites. He invites through talking. He invites through gossip. He invites through criticisms. He invites through comments, nasty comments. And sometimes they come as if they are concerned, about your well-being. And they said, what are you doing in that church? What are you doing with that pastor? What are you doing with that man and that woman? They come in different ways and different sizes and different shapes. And sometimes it's in your work. The devil will instigate something. They come to just distract distract you. And so you wake up sometimes feeling weak. I don't feel like coming to church. I don't feel like being here anymore. I don't feel like this thing. Distraction. Be aware of distraction. Remember the word that Jesus gave you the first time you walk into this church. Is God talking? You want to give. Then somebody said, don't waste your money. Lemuel, don't waste your money. I don't see what is happening here. Distraction. God will lay it in your heart to do something for somebody. For the fact that you are not close to the person, that is not a disqualifying measure. Grace of God blesses whom he chooses to bless. Should I say it again? Grace of God blesses whom he chooses to bless. When God puts something in your heart, you better hurry to do it because it's about you. Should I say it? When God puts something in your heart to do, you better hurry to do it because it is about you. It's about you, not the person that you are reaching out to. You're only an answered prayer. Are you getting me? You are only an answered prayer, a vessel that God uses to. So to distract is to turn aside from where you are going and you move. Let me give you secret of living in Jalingo. Walk like a dead person. Live like a dead person. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Walk like a dead person. Live like a dead person. Does dead people hear things? Do they hear things?
No.
Do they see things?
No.
They don't. Even when they do it, do as if you didn't see it.
Yeah.
One of the greatest pain of the devil is when you ignore him.
Yeah.
And distraction is of the devil. Is an agent. Distraction is the devil's weapon to weaken you and make you not to arrive at your destiny. He wants to weaken you so that you will not arrive at your destiny. Imagine I am going to Wukari. I'm going to Wukari. This is the destination. Don't forget your destiny. Touch your neighbor and say, don't forget where you are going. Don't forget where God has sent you. You are going. This is Wukari. Then somebody tells you, the car will not be filled on time. Why can't you go to Yola? From Yola, they always have plenty passengers to Wukari. Get the picture now. It sounds so stupid. And so you say, hey, yes. You now say, you now diverted from Wukari and you now go to Yola. You get to Yola. You enter Yola vehicle. That's long distance. You came back and you had to pass through the same place you left. Don't be in a hurry. Even if it takes how many people to get the car filled, as long as there is peace, stay there. Kabo Shahata. Is somebody hearing? Is somebody getting me? Is God speaking? To distract is to direct one's attention to a different object or different direction at the same time. You have a focus, but the devil will bring in agents to tell you move from here to another side. That's distraction. Sometimes your distraction is your phone. Sometimes your distraction can be your spouse. Sometimes your distraction can be your family members. They will make you feel that it's a mistake that you got born again. They will make you feel that it's a mistake you are going to church. Sometimes your distractions can be your neighbors. Sometimes they're in your office. They are everywhere. But I said, live like a dead person. Distraction is to stir up confusion. Confuse you is to stir up or confuse someone with conflicting emotions or motive. Let me say this. God has sent me to build this life. Then I have this conflicting distraction. Can be conflict with your emotions. Somebody comes to tell me stories about Eric, his past, his present, and what he thinks he knows about his future. And all are negative. They come to affect my emotions. If I am not focused, I won't be able to continue the assignment that God has sent me to build this life. Building lives does not take one day. Building lives take time. The distraction can come in different ways. And so he wants it. If you are not focused, the devil now said, why am I even wasting my time? Why? And then I now divert, and I know clearly what God wants me to do. Then I now divert. And it comes, I give excuse, okay, not today. I give excuse, not tomorrow. I give excuse, not another day. And then I pick somebody that I feel he's qualified in our human sense. And I feel that the person is not nice. God did not send you to nice people. He sends you to people that are nobody, and he wants to use you to build somebody out of them. God did not send you to perfect people. He sends you to people that are imperfect. He sends you to people that are immature. He sends you to babies that you will work on them, train them to bring them to the place of maturity. He sends you to confuse people that you will drive the confusion out of their life and bring out peace and bring out greatness in them. He sends you to people that think that they never believe in themselves, and you've got to do the work of construction. You keep talking, you keep praying, you keep forgiving, you keep giving excuses for them, and then you keep taking it. You engage patience, you engage patience, you engage patience, you engage the love of God, you engage persistence. The more you do it, the more you do it, they are growing, but you will not see it. But that is the kind of life, that is the kind of assignment that God has sent us to. As I close, I will stop here. As a pastor, over the years, people have come to me and said, you say you are a woman of God. How comes you don't know this person? Why should you hang around this person? This person is very bad. This person is very this, is very that, is very this. I now said, actually, that is the kind of person I'm looking for. And it's that person I am sent to. God didn't send me to perfect people. The reason why we're here is because each and every one of us has its imperfections. Remember, the work of a servant of God or a pastor is to feed you. Is to feed you. Is to feed you. Is to feed you. They told me about a lady. Do you know the life she lives? You are a great woman of God, reputable woman of God. Why are you walking with her? I said, do you know why God sent me to her? The good in me, no matter how bad you are, the good in me is more powerful than your bad. Hosea, did you hear me? The good in me is more powerful. The more I relate with you, the more you distance yourself from the bad, the more your life becomes transformed. The more things that you couldn't do, you start to do them. Things you think you can never be, you start to be them. That's the power. The Bible said everywhere Jesus went, he was doing good. That's all that Jesus did. That's the good news. The gospel is the gospel of good news and not bad news. Good news builds people. Good news. Good news. You wonder when God sent, when he was going to destroy the walls of Jericho, Hosea, God chose his special spies. They were anointed, full of wisdom, full of insight. They walk in the spirit. But guess where they went and spent the night? In a harlot's house. The ways of God are mysterious. God, Anita, he doesn't have where to send them. Harlot's house. If all you see is the spirit of harlotry on people, then you need to reconsider the gospel. I used to be like that before. Kai, Bishop, God, that's why I tell God, he will not die. He must eat his fruit. He has not finished work on this life. So he doesn't have permission to go anywhere. He doesn't. When I every day I say, God, yeah, he won't go anywhere. I had a perspective. You know, when you are a prayerful person, God sees you and shows you things. If you don't have wisdom to handle it, you will be avoiding everybody because God will show you some limitations. You'll be avoiding people and make them look as if they are worse sinners. In those days, I would do singles. I would preach and say, you sinners, why are you going with men? Yeah. I will preach and preach until the day God made me to have an encounter. Bishop would tell me, sweetheart, take it easy. Use wisdom. You don't know what they go through. Some of them is not because they want to do what they want to do. I say, hey, with God, all things are possible. Till the day I had an encounter, I won't tell you. He knows it. By the time I had an encounter, I now understood why some of them get to do what they did. They do. And God now said, do you now understand what weakness is all about? I said, yes, Lord. When I told him, he said, I used to tell you didn't get it until you have the experience. God gives you privilege to show people, but you need wisdom. God will not only show you the problem, he will give you solution. It's not everything God tells you, you tell it. Ask and wait for the time, and wisdom is applicable. Till today, he teaches me. Till today. Yesterday, we had a deliverance session. Something happened. He came back and said, honey, you need wisdom in this area. A way I said the thing, he said, you should have said it this way. He still teaches me wisdom. 1:30 a.m., they came and knocked our gate. Manifestation on one family. We did deliverance till 3 a.m. We came back to the house. And here we are preaching in church. Wake up to pray. God is about to visit your family as I close. Pray. Don't give in to distraction. The series, I will finish it up. Don't give it to distraction.